Three dark types on the same team alongside Lunala were able to top cut the Japan National Championship. We're going to be trying out this team and seeing how well it can perform. A Calm Mind Lunala team with triple dark was able to successfully get top 8 at Japan Nationals. This Lunala team has an incredible usage of Calm Mind Lunala, which is great because of Gen 9's terrestrialization. You're able to get rid of the 4 times weakness to Ghost and Dark type that Lunala does not appreciate, and able to replace it with a better defensive typing that is also able to increase its output with Moonblast as well, being that Terra Fairy. Shadow Shield is an incredible ability that is able to reduce any move that hits Lunala by half if it is at full HP, and with the combination of leftovers and grassy terrain from the Rillaboom that's able to heal the Lunala up constantly, it is great to get multiple Shadow Shields in the game, making this Lunala a really bulky Pokemon that is hard to get rid of. The Lunala does appreciate having Calm Mind and Protect, so it doesn't expose itself to dangerous situations. The Moonblast for coverage, because Moonblast alongside Ghost coverage is very fantastic. Ghost Fairy, as we've seen from Fluttermane, fantastic at dishing out quite a bit, hitting a lot of things for pretty much neutral or super effective damage for the most part. The Assault Vest Rillaboom, not too surprising, pairs up really well because of that Grassy Surge, giving the Lunala the terrain, able to go for really strong grass type moves, and U-turn and fake out support to help set up the Lunala. Water Shifu paired with this team because it is able to help get rid of the threats to Lunala, especially the Incineroars, which are able to threaten the Lunala or force it to Terra. You also have Pokemon like Dark types that always just threaten Lunala in general, so hitting it with a super effective close combat is appreciated. And of course, being able to hit Terapagos, a Pokemon that is very difficult for Lunala to handle because of its immunity to the Moongeist Beam. And then if you do go for the Terra Fairy, you are vulnerable to the Terra Starstorm, and you can play aggressive with this Shifu, a great partner always, especially next to Rillaboom with Fake Out, Searching Strikes combinations, and more. The Yvesangelist is going to be the first Dark type, and this is to help out against Miraidon, and Calyx Shadow Rider. With the fast snarls from the booster energy increasing its speed, helps out against the Calyx Shadow Rider a bit, as well as the Miraidons because it can outspeed. Also has the Terra Ground for safety against the Miraidon teams. And then for Koraidon, which can do a lot of damage into Lunala, and you don't exactly have the easiest way of removing it on the field. You do have the Rain Dance option to slow it down, so Lunala is not taking that much damage from the fire attacks in the rain, as well as you are either resisted or you are just immune to Collision Quest from Koraidon, so you don't have to worry nearly much about that when you're dealing with the Koraidon with the Lunala and Yvesangelist out on the field. The Chi-Yu able to be both a Pokemon that's great for clearing Pokemon that Lunala don't like, such as again Calyx Shadow Rider with the fast snarls to help out against Miraidon as well, but also that can do a lot of damage, especially to Amoonguss, which can be annoying with the heat waves and overheats for really strong damage output, as well as the Will-O-Wisp support, which is nice again because a lot of Pokemon like Koraidon and Calyx Ice Rider do have that clear amulet. Finally, the Umbreon, which is a unique one. We have Inner Focus, that means it can't get faked out, Citrus Berry to heal itself, Foul Play for really strong damage into Calyx Ice Rider. Even if it tears, it still takes quite a bit from the same type attack bonus Foul Play. The Toxic is an interesting option, this one running Terra Poison. Terra Poison is nice on Umbreon because it does give it a resist to the fighting moves, while Poison isn't too weak to many types, as well as just being able to help out against really defensive teams and Pokemon that you might not exactly be able to handle with Lunala. What's also nice is because you have that Grassy Surge recovery with Rillaboom and the Shadow Shield of Lunala, with the nature of the two, you're able to stall out quite a few amount of turns. That's a few turns that toxic damage can really add up. Especially very nice into Pokemon that play passive, such as like Incineroar. If you do land a Toxic, does limit the amount of turns that can be available on the field, alongside Calm Mind Terapagos. That could be very annoying. If it tries to Calm Mind up, then you can Calm Mind up with Lunala and you would win the war because the Toxic will wear out to the Terapagos over time. The Taunt, that's nice for Amoonguss as well as any Trick Room teams, to prevent any Trick Room, to prevent any spores, which is always appreciated. And then again, because I mentioned before that a lot of the physical restricted Pokemon do run the clear amulets, which means you can intimidate it, you do want to still reduce the physical damage output because Lunala is boosting its special defense output. So You have the Reflect here to help out against Calyx Ice Rider and a few other mons that can really hit the Lunala through its physical defense. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Talonflame, Thundurus Incarnate, Wellspring Ogerpon, the Iron Hands for Rigraff and Miraidon. Looks pretty similar to the team that Z brought and got 9th at the North American International Championship. This is gonna be something. I don't know the Talonflame. Well, the thing is that Thundurus is a huge threat. I don't have the best answers to deal with Thundurus, so that's gonna be a really annoying factor. Iron Hands can actually be super threatening as well. I don't have the best answers or responses to it. I think I will go with the Lunala because Lunala is pretty good against the team. I want to say it's like Lunala Rillaboom. Lunala Rillaboom isn't too bad. I do kind of like it because if they lead Miraidon, I do get to punish. The Talonflame's a little bit concerning, but I think I should be okay. Or Shifu in the back, and I think the Umbreon. Because the thing about it is I'm thinking about bringing the Yvesangelist, but the problem with Yvesangelist is it doesn't really do too much to these Pokemon offensively. The Tailwind could be nice, but I don't know if they're going to go for the Trick Room because for Rigraff plus Iron Hands is probably pretty strong into my team. I think having to reflect on the Umbreon to help out against Iron Hands could be a big factor. Having a Mon that could also switch into Yvesangelist, because the only Pokemon I am bringing that can really switch into the Miraidon is Rillaboom. And that's not really great if we're trying to get KOs and then Miraidon gets a free switch and then Electro Drift is just pick him a knockout anyway. So I think I need one Pokemon that can theoretically switch into it at least. So that's why I'm thinking Umbreon is the best Mon here. Yvesangelist just does not help out. So let's see what's going to happen. And I think Chiyu just ends up hurting us. We're going to see Miraidon and Talonflame, which is not too surprising. All right. As we lead our Lunala plus our Rillaboom. I have no idea what they're exactly going to go for. I don't know if they're Covert Cloak on the Talonflame either. I don't really want Brave Bird damage coming out into Rillaboom because it would do a lot. And I would like to keep the grass typing, so I don't really want to Terra. I don't really have a reason to Terra with Miraidon this matchup unless I need the extra power, maybe to avoid a Draco Meteor. I think I'm just going to get a Calm Mind up with my Lunala. I don't want to fake out into a Covert Cloak on the Talonflame, so I think I'm going to just try to get Umbreon in immediately. They might try to get into their Iron Hands, which is alright. But I do think Umbreon is the right play here. They do go for the Brave Bird immediately, targeting down what was the Rillaboom. That's Life Orb Talonflame, it looks like. Yep. I went for a Moongeist Beam and got the KO, but I don't think it's really necessary. We're going to see the Volt Switch come out into the Lunala. That looks like it is going to be Choice Specs damage on that Miraidon. Thanks to the Shadow Shield, we are able to tank it pretty well. We won't be getting our Shadow Shield, unfortunately, back this turn, even after the leftovers and grassy terrain. But not a bad start, I would say. Let's figure out what they're going to bring out next. It's going to be Thundurus actually coming out. All right. So this might be like an Eerie Impulse strategy coming out into the Lunala. And another reason I wanted to bring the Umbreon was because I can actually go for Taunt into the Thundurus and prevent it from going for the Eerie Impulses, Thunder Waves, anything that really wants to disrupt the Lunala. So this is the main reason why I have it. I can protect to get the Shadow Shield back. And I think unless they double up my Umbreon, and even if they double up, they need to be offensive Thundurus because of the Citrus Spray on Umbreon. I should be okay. So we'll protect and go for a Taunt. Yeah. And next turn, do I want to get a Reflect Up or do I want to Toxic down to Thundurus? Toxic down to Thundurus might not be too bad for the chip. I'm trying to think about who the last Mon is. I feel like it should be Iron Hands. I think Iron Hands is good against my team. But we'll see. I don't know if they want to go for Tailwind. They might go aggressively for some damage here. They could go back into Miraidon, I suppose, as well, which I'm kind of okay if Miraidon comes back out because I always have a Rillaboom as a play that I can make, and I've gotten to Calm Mind up at least once already. We are going to see the Talonflame retreat into Miraidon, so that's all right here. That's actually perfect. Yep, Miraidon coming back in. So this is ideal as we'll be able to get the Taunt off into the Thundurus. We're going to see a Terra come out for my opponent, which is very surprising here. All right, what Terra is the Thundurus going for? I guess you now take advantage of terrain. Terra Dark on Thundurus. Oh, I guess. Don't tell me you're Dark Pulse or something. Are you Dark Pulse? Protect the Lunala, because we had no reason not to. Just Thunder Wave. Okay. I guess so you don't get... I guess they were worried about... I don't think you're worried about Meteor Beam. Maybe you were just worried about Moongeist Beam. But we do get a taunt off into the Thunderous. Fantastic. And now we can probably just go out into Rillaboom. Get in our Grassy Terrain once again. Do I ever really want to risk? Like, I don't need... The problem is if I Fairy Terra, I'm vulnerable to Iron Hands. But I guess it's not too bad because they already used their Terra, so they can't Terra away from Moonblast. I think I'm just going to Calm Mind, and I'm going to swap out into the Rillaboom. Yeah, they could switch out Thunderous, go out into Talonflame, and Volt Switch back out, which I think is okay for me. But it looks like they're going to same with the Thunderous, so I'm not risking Dark Pulse. Like, if it's Terra Dark, I feel like it's more than one reason than it's just prankster stuff. So I just got to be cautious of it. So I will go for the Terra because I don't really need to Terra on Umbreon. I think Umbreon was the only other Pokemon I might have likely to Terra. I guess Urshifu could have too as well. I don't think it's needed. Like, I think Urshifu's is the least needed Terra. Umbreon's Terra is kind of like unnecessary either. It just depends on the position. They go for a Volt Switch and a Rillaboom, which is fine. Also, we confirmed it was Life from Talonflame, so I can fake out the Talonflame, so I don't have to really worry about it, but I think I'm always just going to swap out anyway. Talonflame going to come back in. Yep, all right. They have Volt Switch on the Thunderous as well. Okay, so they're going to be able to reset, but I mean, I am threatening the fake out. They do have to respect the fake out. And I will be getting my Shadow Shield this turn because they doubled up into the Rillaboom slot, which meant the Lunala can keep its Shadow Shield. Iron Hands is going to reveal itself. Yep. Okay, that is what I had thought could have been scary. We will get a Calm Mind up. All right, we have +2 on deck. The Talonflame's Gale Wings is broken. I kind of just want to Moonblast the Iron Hands and fake out the Iron Hands as well. Do I think this is Quick Guard Talonflame? They could, but if they Quick Guard, I think that's okay. The worst case scenario for me is they Brave Bird into Heavy Slam the Lunala, which is the position I want to avoid the most. They do reveal the Quick Guard, which is fine, as I mentioned before. And it means I don't lose my Rillaboom in the process, and there's no way I'm losing Lunala here in the process either. So I'm okay with Quick Guard. Like, it's an okay trade-off here. They go for Fake Out. I mean, sure. That works out perfectly acceptable. I guess I'm just going to go for a Moonblast into the Iron Hands as well as a Grassy Glide. I think Grassy Glide plus then a +2 should get the KO on Iron Hands. Let's see. If they want to go for Brave Bird, that's fine. As I mentioned before, I was okay because the big thing is the fact that I do have the Shadow Shield is basically preventing me from getting like a super threat to knockout. We're actually going to see the Tailwind from the Talonflame, which is AR right here, as they do go for the Heavy Slam to break the Shadow Shield. It doesn't do too much damage, thankfully, as we are able to fire out back a Moonblast off into the Iron Hands. This should pick up a knockout. Yep, perfect. All right. Getting rid of that Iron Hands is absolutely huge for us. It also allows Umbreon to come in safely against some of the plays that they can make here, so this is actually really nice. I don't know if they double in the Lunala. I feel like the Lunala's Protect might be obvious. Do I want to go for an aggressive play? Because I imagine Miraidon's coming back in to threaten more offensive pressure with like an Electro Drift or Volt Switch. They bring it in Thunderous, actually. Okay. I kind of want to play aggressive here. I kind of want to just fire off a Moonblast. Or should I Moongeist being the Talonflame? Because then they have really... Actually... No, I want a Moongeist being the Talonflame. I think Moongeist the Talonflame is fine and go out into Umbreon. They actually switch out the Talonflame, which I'm a bit surprised about. Is this a Volt Switch into Talonflame again? Miraidon going to come in. That's going to take a +2 Moongeist beam. They are going to be able to get the Electric Terrain, I suppose, but I'm not really too worried about the damage that Thunderous can really offer here. But yeah, we go out into Umbreon, which has been a really nice pivot here in this game. Let's see if what the Thunderous is going to go for. Goes for Thunder Wave. Targets down to Rillaboom. Interesting. I did expect him not to attack the Lunala because to protect against Shadow Shield was a bit obvious here, but the Moongeist Beam and the Miraidon gets a critical hit into the Miraidon. And I think that's all she wrote at this point. I do not see how they're breaking through. I mean, if they don't think I have Urshifu in the back, this is winnable for them, I suppose. This is a very safe for me. Foul play the Talonflame and just protect the Lunala. Because Urshifu does win in the back, assuming I get rid of one of these. I will foul play the Talonflame protect. That was going to be forfeited though. Okay, they don't believe they have the odds. Which is true because once I get one protect off with the Lunala, Shadow Shield's in play. Maybe they could go for some RNG, but even then, the Talonflame has to attack eventually, right? Because there's still a Rillaboom on deck. They have to take the huge amount of damage from the recoil, which probably just knocks them out after just a little bit of chip damage in the Talonflame. And yeah, like, it just was not looking good for them. So, really good. I felt like I was able to get a really good position with Lunala in that game, just overall, which was awesome for me. If they didn't go for Tailwind with Talonflame in the Heavy Slam that turn, they were going to go for Brave Bird Heavy Slam, but because they didn't have Tailwind, my Lunala would outspeed the Iron Hands to double up with KO. There wasn't really a safe switch my opponent could go for in that slot, because with that Terra Dark, all three of those slots were just weak to the Fairy type move. And I felt like I just positioned it really well, especially with that taunt from the Umbreon. Like having the Umbreon being a pivot into the Talonflame and being able to taunt that Thunder Rays, preventing any area impulses Thunder Rays, was so important to this game. Lunala with Torkoal, Hisuian Lilligant, Blood Moon Ursaluna, Indeedee, and King Gambit. All right, Calm Mind Lunala does really well here. Rain Dance, Yvesangelist can put in a lot of work too. Those are like the big ones. Chiyu could do something, but I don't think it's necessary. I do think that Umbreon could catch them off guard with taunts. I don't know if they're gonna lead the Lilligant. That's the thing. I don't think they are, but if they do, I think Lunala plus Umbreon's not a bad lead, because I could just taunt the Trick Room setter, and I think that'd be pretty big. And in the back, Rillaboom for sure, and I think Yvesangelist. Rain Dance is really good in this matchup. I guess like no King Gambit. I mean, no no Urshifu against the King Gambit, which is probably going to be brought, could be a thing. I don't really think I need it. It would help out a lot though. I am relying a lot on the Lunala being able to sweep the team, but I think it's pretty reasonable because Tricker stuff is not exactly super easy to handle with Ursh, because I have to figure out a position. Can I get, like, this isn't Torn where I can go for priority Rain Dance and then have the water move accurate or powered up right away, right? The sun is always going to be in Tricker most likely, unless I deny it. I don't know if I will be able to deny it. We'll find out. I think a good question is what kind of King Gambit set this is, because King Gambit is going to be a pretty big mon that can stop Lunala, and I just don't know if they're going to bring or not, because I think you need Torkoal in the matchup for sure, because you want the sun. We're going to see Lunala Lilligant, which is an interesting one here. All right. Versus the Lunala Umbreon. Most of the Umbreons do run safety goggles. I don't figure out a sleep powder this slot. I think turn one, I would just want to go for a taunt into the Lunala. Well, I don't know if you're setting up Trick Room this turn. You don't have to set up Trick Room this turn. I guess I could just draw off a Toxin to Lunala, always break that Shadow Shield. Go for a Calm Mind immediately. I don't think this is too bad of a play. If they sleep powder, sure, it's going to get a little bit annoying, but not much I could do to really stop that. I just need a Calm Mind set up immediately because they do have a lot of threats like Torkoal and Blood Moon Ursaluna. I do want to Calm Mind up for, so we'll set up our Lunala as quick as we possibly can. Hopefully no sleep powder turn one. We'll see. We're going to see Terras on both sides, which makes sense because we both don't want to take a Moongeist Beam from each other's Lunalas immediately. This probably means they're not sleep powdering at least turn one, which is positive. I wonder what they went for. Close comment, Umbreon makes sense. Umbreon able to tank it pretty well. I don't know if this is going to be Moonblast double up. We are going to be able to heal back with our Citrus Berry, which is nice. And we get a Toxic off into the Lunala, which breaks Shadow Shield, and we'll start chipping it down. Because if I'm able to sell out Trick Room turns, that's really good. So I'll gladly take this. They're also Calm Mind. I was not expecting that. Oh, so that Toxic is actually huge. We need to land a Toxic in the Lunala, because in this war, yeah, getting the Toxic off in the Lunala is absolutely huge. Being able to just keep chipping it down constantly. Ooh, that's really, really good. Okay. Gladly take that. I get... Do they have Moonblast? Calm Mind always runs Moonblast. Do they have Indie in the back? I guess is a good question. I want to taunt the Lilligant and protect the Lunala because I feel like this could be Sleep Powder coming out. Lilligant usually doesn't run a move that could really hit Lunala hard here, so I should be safe. It went for close combat again, which I would have liked a Moonblast into that slot, but I still think this is pretty acceptable. All right. Because I can still go into Yvesangelist the next turn, click a Snarl, and then I think I'm in an okay spot. Let's see if they Calm Minded again. No, they Moongeisted. All right. I thought they would Moonblast and Sleep Powder if they had it, but that works out. All right. Leftovers as well on their team, but the Toxic really is going to start adding up. So we get to go out into Yvesangelist. If they go hard King Gambit, we have a problem, but not much we can do there. I don't think they are going to go hard into King Gambit. I think they're just going to attack. We're going to click Snarl, lower that special attack on the Lunala by a stage, break a Focus Sash on the Lilligant that is at -2 currently, and then Moonblast follow up. So Snarl and Moonblast. If they go King Gambit, I guess I get some decent damage off. But yeah, it's obviously not ideal if they go King Gambit. It depends on if they actually have a Steel type move. Lunala gonna retreat. Oh, don't tell me this is King Gambit. Oh, Torkoal. Okay, that makes sense to get the Sun up. This Snarl is actually gonna be pretty impactful in the Torkoal, so let's see if this is Sleep Powder. Sleep Powder into Yvesangelist. All right. All right. Don't think that's awful because I do get a first turn burn of sleep and I get this Moonblast off. You also got rid of your boost on your Lunala, so it's harder to actually take care of my Lunala. We are able to get the Moonblast off in the Lilligant. Not bad damage. I wonder if they're going to just Sleep Powder again or they're going to go for After You Eruption. I don't want After You Eruption coming out. I'm willing to burn the sleep turn, so I think I'm just going to go for the Moongeist Beam and the Torkoal and Snarl. They do attempt to Sleep Powder, but oh, they targeted Jugular slot, which is interesting. All right. Maybe either they misclicked or they were trying to call a switch right there, but I don't know what I'd switch out into. I have Ursh and Chiyu, which aren't great switch-ins. Moongeist Beam and the Torkoal just obliterates it, so that's great. Okay. Definitely will take the Torkoal off your hands. Beautiful. Ursaluna is the last Pokemon. All right, if Yvesangelist could wake up, that would be really, really good. We are going to go for a Snarl, and I am going to go for a... Do I want to... I think we just protect here. Because I can afford to protect this turn. There's no way you go for After You Blood Moon into Yvesangelist this turn. Yeah, you attempt to Sleep Powder again, which makes sense. And if I do wake up with Jugular, I'm in a huge spot. If not... Not the worst. We do wake up though, which is fantastic. We do get a Snarl off, so we're able to get a lower special attack on the Ursaluna. We are able to eliminate the Lilligant, and now we should have the game pretty much wrapped up. I just don't see the Blood Moon Ursaluna able to do much. Hyper Voice, sure, but without Terra as well, like it was very limited options. Wow, that did no damage to Jugular because of the Snarl, and they don't have Terra. So Lunala gonna come out. Do I want to target down Lunala or do I want to target down the Ursaluna? I mean, I do have Rillaboom in the back. So I think I'm just gonna go for Snarl and I'm just gonna Moonblast the Lunala. Or Moongeist Beam actually does more damage, so I will Moongeist Beam. I'm gonna be forfeit because I kind of realized it's over. I also had a Solvest Rillaboom in the back, so no matter what, I was just gonna be able to wrap up there. But oh man, that Lunala actually was not expecting Calm Mind Lunala on this team. If it was able to set up alongside me, Could have been scary because that sleep powder was building up, but that's one toxic on the Umbreon mattered so much. And then having back Yvesangelist, which is actually still really useful as it was really good into their team. Incineroar, Calyx, Ice Rider, Rillaboom, Farigiraf, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, and Urshifu. Interesting take with the Blood Moon Ursaluna on these builds, but all right, what do I want to manage with this? Lunala is actually really annoying for Ice Rider for the most part if I play it well. I do want to bring the Lunala. Umbreon's really good against these kind of builds, so I do want to bring the Umbreon because it can taunt the Farigiraf, it can taunt the Calyx. Ice Rider Foul Play does threaten a lot. In the back. No reason not to bring Urshifu, I think, and then Rillaboom's really solid as the last. I could have brought Chiyu. Chiyu also had a really good offensive potential, but I just don't think it's really necessary. I think the problem is if they lead Farigiraf, Urshifu, and helping in close combat's actually kind of threatening. Otherwise, I think I'm okay. So let's see what they decide to bring here. It's going to be the Farigiraf Urshifu. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, but all right. I don't think it's too bad either, because if they focus down their effort on Umbreon, then that means Lunala is still around. I'm going to go for Moonblast into Urshifu, and I'm going to go for a Taunt into the Farigiraf. Their Mental Herb. U-turn is a play that they can make. That looks like it's just going to be Terra. And if it's Terra Water Surge Strikes, that's okay, because I could just go... Oh, they Terra the Farigiraf and a Fairy. That's one play I was not expecting. I mean, Dark move sure from Umbreon is not really that big, I think. Close Combat does come out. Maybe they're going for the extra Gleam damage to KO the Umbreon. But yeah, they do lose the Ursh turn 1, it looks like, unless they're Focus Sash, and that's a pretty big loss on their offensive capabilities. I do get a Moonblast off into the Ursh. They also utilize their Terra, so now the Calyx Ice Rider can Terra, which is actually pretty big. And I do get the taunt off into Farigiraf. The question is, are you that Mental Herb set or are you something else? Nice. Okay. Beautiful start. So we're able to taunt the Farigiraf. Great Incineroar are going to come in. Not that big of a deal. I guess I want to go to my own Ursh. Because Dazzling Gleam is actually kind of threatening. I have a few plays. Reflect seems really good here, and just Terra. I think I will just go for Calm Mind with Lunala and go for a Reflect with my Umbreon, because now we can Reflect up against the Calyx Ice Rider that's probably lurking in the back. We are going to be able to set up the Calm Minds with Lunala so we can threaten the knockout into the Calyx Ice Rider. I don't know if +1's enough to knock out Calyx Ice Rider. 2 would definitely be safe to KO any Calyx Ice Rider that isn't like max special defense. Calm Mind here. Wonder if they're knockoff Incineroar and going for it, or they're just gonna launch a parting shot. Reflect. Oh, really nice Reflect. Hyper Voice, okay. Doesn't really do that much damage. Throat Spray activates. Let's see the Incineroar attack. They do knock off, yeah. Okay, feeling pretty good because I can taunt the Incineroar and Calm Mind with my Lunala. And I really like this play. The reason is it prevents a parting shot. We saw the speed interaction in the previous turn. So I can get a taunt and Incineroar, prevent a parting shot. If they switch out into Calyx, they also won't be able to have Trick Room. And then because they're trapped in with the Incineroar and they can't parting shot, this is just an easy Moongeist Beam combination. So yeah. Here comes the taunt. And now I have the +2 that I needed to set up. Voice. Alright. Yep, they tried the parting shot, did not work. Do I want to go real or do I want to go Ursh? Probably Ursh. I was thinking of going real so I could get recovery, but I think Ursh always just makes sense. I'm always gonna go for a Moongeist Beam into Farig, and I'm gonna Surging Strikes. There is a play I can make where I go for Moongeist Beam into the Incineroar, because they could switch out into Calyx Ice. I think their only hope here, because I do want to double Farig and prevent Trick Room from going up from the Farig slot. But let's see. They don't switch because they feared their Calyx Ice taking too much damage, and that's gonna 100% lose them the game, because I think they need to reset for Fake Out. So this ends up working out. Even if they were able to reset for Fake Out, I could have went real and protected the Lunala, and I would have been in a safe spot, because they could Trick Room, but it's like, okay, I can stall out, I get Grassy Terrain recovery and start building up that recovery, and then Ursh is still like really annoying for them to handle and break through. I am able to eliminate the Farig, and we're gonna see knockoff. Oh, Flare Blitz. They actually have Flare Blitz, huh? But not enough damage to Lunala. Nice. So yeah, Terra wise, it was just surprising. I was not expecting the Terra on the Farigiraf because it was immune to the Moongeist Beam. Maybe they thought I could double it up. Maybe they thought feared Meteor Beam plus Foul Play, and maybe that could have knocked out. Because if I was the power up set, that might have been a play I would have went for, and then that's what they were anticipating. That's what I'm assuming, at least. We're just going to Moongeist Beam to Calyx. We're going to go for Surging Strikes into Incineroar, and that should win us the game. I guess, like, what? The Incineroar has to have Citrus Berry. It survives the turn. It crits my Lunala. And even then, like, I still have pretty good odds to win the game with Rillaboom next to Ursh, because I do have the Rilla in the back. You need to be Citrus Berry first. It is Citrus Berry, okay. Does it survive the last hit? It looks like it should, barely. Yep. But even then, I just Fake Out. Surging Strikes. Wood Hammer, Surging Strikes, Calyx just goes down. So I should be safe. They knock off my Ursh instead. I mean, there was a bigger threat in the Lunala, but yeah, we just Moongeist Beam, we Surging Strikes. The game's over now. The game has been over technically, but I think if they wanted a glimmer of hope, they needed to Flare Blitz the Lunala for the knockout, because there was just no reason to make the protect play. If like the Lunala is the threat that KOs the Calyx, you need to target down the Lunala. Moongeist Beam gonna fire off into the Calyx, pick up the knockout, and yep, that is game. So huge moves by Umbreon. Umbreon was actually really clutch. The Reflect allowed us to take the Flare Blitz pretty well. We were able to just deny Trick Room. And that's the thing. We were able to deny Trick Room with the taunts. Reflect Up was really nice. Taunting the Incineroar so it can slow my Lunala down. So once I had the +2, it was ready to go damage. Didn't have to worry about special attack drops. And then Lunala was just able to dish out so much to their team. Regidrago, King Gambit, Lunala, Galarian Moltres, Urshifu, and the Iron Hands. This is one heck of a team. I don't even know where to start. All right, they have Tailwind Trick Room options from Lunala, Galarian Moltres. Regidrago is a pretty big threat, but we do have Terraferra on our Lunala. The Umbreon I'm a little bit scared of. They have double fighting, so my dark types don't exactly appreciate it. This is going to be a tough one. I do want to bring Ursh in this matchup, I think. I do like Umbreon a lot too. I think Umbreon plus the Rillaboom is actually a fine start, because getting the Grassy Terrain, healing up for the Umbreon's nice. The Rillaboom helps out against the fighting types because Fake Out pressure is really good into those. I think I have Lunala and the Ursh in the back. I do want to Terra Fairy the Lunala in this matchup. I guess the thing is, it's not going to be a super safe way if I'm not leading Lunala and going for the Terra Fairy. But the thing is, if I lead Lunala in this matchup, they have a little bit of concerns where I think they just get to pressure the Umbreon. So we are going to see the Lunala and the Iron Hands lead. So this works out fine. Get the Grassy Surge up. I do just want... Oh, that is a Booster Energy Iron Hands. That actually makes it harder. If it was Assault Vest, it'd be easier. That is going to do a lot of damage. I'm just going to go for a Toxic into Lunala turn 1, and I guess a Fake Out into the Iron Hands immediately. They both are Protect. It's annoying, but otherwise we should be safe. Fake Out into the Iron Hands. Toxic into Lunala. So even if it Terras, it's still going to be on a timer, which is nice. Trick Room? Looks like it. Yeah, this is gonna be tough now. I wonder who they feared, Umbreon or the Rillaboom? They could fear the Rillaboom, because Woodhammer is way more threatening, I think. I want to set up a Reflect really bad if I can. I have a feeling they might double up my Rillaboom with Moongeist Beam. I think my best play is just to Reflect and get the heck out of here. I pretty much am expecting one of my Pokemon to go down to close combat, or a double up at least. I'm gonna U-turn the Iron Hands and Reflect. Oh my goodness, a Sword Stance. Okay, good to know. Good to know. That's a threat. Massive threat. We do get Reflect up, which is actually huge. Oh shoot, my Rillaboom's slower than the Lunala. Oh, that changes my game plan a lot because I might actually have to go Ursh now. I can't let a Moongeist Beam be fired off. Oh, that's awkward. Why are you Hypnosis Lunala? Why'd you even go for the Hypnosis on Lunala? I do have Terra Poison, but I just don't fit. I think I do need it on my own Lunala. That's the problem. I do need damage on the Iron Hands, and I guess I'm just gonna... There's no point of switching constantly, I think. They're gonna go for Drain Punch. So much damage, they actually just get the one-shot into Umbreon. Oh, they crit. Okay. I was like... Maybe because of boost... Actually, with Booster +2, that probably just didn't matter. If it was non-booster, then I would say that probably mattered. But with booster, yeah. Psychic. What am I dealing with here? All right, we're losing resources left and right. Unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to play a Hypnosis game the next turn. Not liking this spot. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to dodge a Hypnosis. Like, that is my game plan probably at this point. I bring out the Lunala. There's a Trick Room. Do I fake out? Do I protect, swap to Real, or do I Calm Mind Terra and... Yeah, that's the big question. I definitely want to swap to Real for the Ursh slot. The question is, do I... Because no matter what, it's probably going to be... I think I want to set up a Calm Mind as fast as possible. If they do get a Hypnosis, I want to try to break through it as fast as possible. So I bring out the Rela. There is a chance they Drain Punch the Ursh slot here, which is fine. Because Rillaboom will be able to tank one attack at least. Oh jeez, the fact that this is Hypnosis Lunala is actually so frustrating. Okay. Under Punch. Okay. Okay, they just Moongeist. That's good. Yeah, we take that extremely well. We get the Calm Mind set up. The Iron Hands actually did do a lot of damage. It did do a lot of damage. All right, the Lunala's been sticking around for a bit. We do get the leftovers and the... All right, we get the leftovers. Grassy Terrain recovery. Lunala's being chipped. Are they going to Hypnosis me this turn? I think my best play, unironically, is to go for... They don't have redirection or anything. They do have a Terra still available, though. Are you going to Thunder Punch, Hypnosis the Lunala? Or are you going to... I think I got to dodge Hypnosis. Because with that Terra, it makes this so much more complicated. I'm going to fake out Moonblast. All right, they didn't Terra. Oh, man. All right. If I wake up first turn, this is doable. I guess I could protect it, but the thing is, if I protect, I knew the Iron Hands was probably more likely not going to tear this turn on the fake out. If I could have just gotten the KO onto the Iron Hands, I think that was 100% worth the risk reward factor. Because they had to hit 2 Hypnosis. They already hit the previous one. And they have to get more than a 1 turn sleep. I think I Moonblast would hammer the Iron Hands. Let's go for it. They didn't Terra and I stay asleep. Oh man. That would hammer did a lot. It's over though. Yeah. They crit again. I don't think any of the crits mattered though. I don't think the Umbreon one did, and I don't think this one did. Unfortunately, I think if I woke up though, I was in a really good spot. Granted, I think if they had King Gambit, it still was like it was tricky depending on like what move they had, but yeah. Now I think it's just over. Reflect wears off. I hate Hypnosis Lunala. I hate it so much. That's actually one of the things I despise about Lunala Hypnosis. It was King Game in the back, so it was still tricky regardless. But it was like the fact that the fact that I still had an out was pretty. I'm just done. I'm just done. Get me out of here. All right, let's go over to games. In game 1, was able to use Umbreon well as a pivot and carefully protect my Lunala with taunt shutting down the Thunderous, while Rillaboom was able to limit what Miraidon could accomplish. In game 2, the Toxic made a huge impact as my Lunala would always win the Calm Mind Lunala mirror. And then Yvesangelist next to boost Lunala were very difficult for my opponent to break through. In game 3, the early knockout into Urshifu and then the taunt Umbreon made it really difficult for my opponent to stop Lunala, as the Reflect made it hard to knock it out, and then my Rapid Strike Urshifu was able to wall the Calyx Ice Rider and the Incineroar remaining. In game 4, a rough game as Hypnosis Lunala ended up really messing up any momentum I had, alongside the Swords Dance Iron Hands. Taunting turn 1 might have helped into a Toxic the following turn, as the sleeps were difficult and unexpected. I think this team is cool. Calm Mind Lunala was really unique, and I think my favorite part, the Umbreon Toxic, is actually really good. Normally, Toxic strategies aren't exactly incredible in VGC, but the fact is you have it paired with the Rillaboom. It really does help out mitigate some weaknesses that Lunala can carry, and the fact that you can play defensive as well as offensive towards setting up with that Calm Mind boost does allow a lot of pressure onto your opponent that they have to take into account. So I think it was really cool. Yvesangelist was pretty neat. Chiyu, I think, was one of the weaker ones, but I don't think we hit any of the matchups that Chiyu was really strong into. So very acceptable, but I think Umbreon was definitely the star here. If you would like to try out the team, the rent code is on your screen. Hopefully it is still available by the time this video comes out. If you would like to check out the details of the team and the creator, it'll be linked in the description down below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.